Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of A Candor Gander. If you were here with us last night, that was fun too. We're back at it again. Um, if you've never seen any of our episodes, any of our shows, Candor Gander is a DFK variety show where we interview people like you. So if you've not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Like our videos. Consider like turn on those notifications. Grab a drink. Today it's coffee for me. Take a seat and welcome to the flock. With us today, we have a very special guest. When I saw his work, um, a few months ago, it feels like, or a couple months ago, I immediately wanted to sort of get him on the show, try to work things out. Finally, was able to get him on before before I introduce him. Just as an intro or recap for all of you. Um, I know my camera's not good today. I know my audio may not be as good as it's been in the past. We'll be fixing that in the future. But with that said, Mr. 256-bit, how are we doing this morning?
Hi guys. Hi Sergeant. Happy to be here. And yeah, over here it's like 10 p.m. and it's all good. Had a great Sunday. Hope
Perfect.
you're gonna have one too. A great Sunday
Oh,
too.
absolutely. Yeah, let me know how the future looks like. I always like to joke around with people. It's like, what does the future look like? Because it's 10 p.m. Sunday where you're at, and my morning's just getting started here. Where in the world are you joining us from? I know you've shared with me, but share with the audience.
I'm based in Singapore, right? So it's GMT +8, and yeah, it's a pretty tropical country right in the line of the equator of the world. So it's always hot and humid. There's no winter. There's no autumn. It's usually summer, right? Yeah,
It's hot and humid all the time.
pretty much. Yes, yes. It's a super tropical thing. You don't
So
need thick clothes. You can't. No.
Oh, hey, well that makes it convenient. My closet's full of clothes I'll wear, you know, 3 months out of the year, and then and I'm exaggerating a bit because I live in Southern California, so the weather's pretty mild compared to someone, in Midwest maybe, or where the climate's really the weather does change. But tell me about yourself. So 256, but who is he?
Okay. Right. So, right. So basically, when I started off, right, I started off last year. Hi guys.
Hey,
Yeah. So
Senju, hello.
Hey Andrew. Hey Andrew. I just saw the chat. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
correct. Right. So I started off last year. I think it was late last year. I was quite interested. I got into NFTs quite late, right? So I wanted to do something, and then I was like, what can I do? Right. So I was a little interested in those pixel art thing, right? Like those
Yeah.
blocks. Yeah. So I started out with it's a canvas of 256 blocks. So I created art based on like 256 squares. So that's where I started, right? And then I was trying to learn a
Where
bit
the
of
name comes from.
morning, Captain Crystal, and morning, Julio.
Hey, morning, guys. Oh, some of these guys came back for more. I love it.
Yeah, so I started from there, and then afterwards, I discovered Blender, and then I discovered the Blender Guru. So I started doing those donuts. That's where I first started, right? So I just did donuts. My niche was a little different. It was radioactive donuts. So instead of like ordinary ones where you eat, right? Mine is
Yeah.
made to look as though it's really nice to eat, but it's actually radioactive. It's toxic. Right? So it's a
Oh, that's
yeah,
fun. That's fun.
yes, it's fun. So I did it for a while, and then I think about April this year. It was only April this year that I discovered about DFK, DeFi Kingdoms. Yeah,
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm quite late in a sense, but
Well, you know what? Some would argue you're not late at all. I mean, I would argue that. I mean, personally, so I got in January. I don't recall what the prices looked like in April, but I think I would have rather come in April than
okay,
January. So you're not late.
got it. I came in at the point like basically April was my birthday, so I thought, you know
Oh,
what, gotta celebrate my birthday, right?
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So that was my
Uh,
first thing, first foray.
oh,
Uh,
well, no, that's great. Well, and even kidding aside, I think big picture, um, and I've said this time and time again. I don't think any of us are late. As a matter of fact, I think we're all early. It looks different for many of us. There's always going to be a bigger well than you. Um, I consider myself a small fish, but I know some people may not. And I'm sure that's the same case for you. Um,
okay.
Sinjuro with his curvy feet. Yes, we'll allow it today. And we do love we do love the fan art. I love your fan art. I know NFTs you got in pretty late. DFK you got in pretty late. How did you discover DFK? Because it's not something you just. I guess you could, wake up and sort of, see somewhere. How did you find out about it?
Okay, so basically, I run a okay. So a bit of doxing of myself, right? So I'm married, right? So me and my wife, we run a digital business, marketing automation business. So we had a intern that came in to work for us, and he basically was really enthusiastic about it. And then he shared with us, right, DeFi Kingdoms. So I was like, what's DeFi Kingdoms, right? I mean, I've heard of like OpenSea. I was like very comfortable with Ethereum blockchain and
Right,
Polygon. I was like, what's Harmony, right? And oh, let's not talk about Harmony, but you know, that time was like it's like awesome, right? That time I
right,
was okay. We gotta do this, right? It's gonna be Harmony, right? Stephen and yeah, what?
right.
Yeah. So it got me intrigued, right? So it's the first real like deep dive into GameFi, and as I studied the tokenomics, I studied the entire ecosystem. I dive into the community. I found that there's something more. There was something hidden. There's something like deep, and to me it seems like it's gonna be here for a very long time. And I know it myself because 20 years ago there was this game called RuneScape. I'm not sure whether you heard about it. Yeah,
It sounds familiar. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So there was this the first MMORPG game uh, by Jagex, right? It's called
Oh,
RuneScape, right? It's like pixelated like MMORPG. It came out.
yep.
I created an account 1 year after that. So and 20 years down the road, it's still around, and
Oh my God.
I have the 20 years like cape, right? So if this game can last that long and it's still going strong, right? I sense this potential in DFK. It may be the committee, it may be the tokenomics, it may be Frisky Fox, it may be, you know, Pieface, it may be Second Best Dad, maybe Beetle, it may be all these people, maybe Dream, you know, and the synergy, everything just makes sense. The way they
Yeah,
handle, yeah, the way they handle that scandal, the lock, you know, jewels and
yep.
whatnot, they openly, publicly dox themselves. It's an incredible show of leadership. So there are a lot of things, as and the moderators, right, Sandro or everyone, they seem to be really. It's like a brotherhood, right? It's a family per se, and this
Right.
is it's not something I see in most projects out there.
No, and I completely agree with you. I have some of those same sentiments myself. Um, where if you were to ask me what makes this project great, I can't give you a one thing. I can give you, like you said, I can give you a bunch of little things here and there, sort of compile itself to make itself a very promising project, right? And I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I love it. Um, and I like to ask everyone this question sort of late. I mean, what keeps you motivated in a bear market? And for you, it's a bit different because you're a content creator, yes, but sort of up or down, you could create art and and you'd be fine. But like you, or like me, maybe I'm sure you find yourself in a mental state where it's like, oh my God, like some days you just maybe need to find the motivation, and it's talking to people or sort of logging into Discord. What's it for you? What sort of keeps you going?
Okay, right. So I think right at the get go, right, when I see the graphics, I get inspired. And then as I'm talking to the community, and then I was like thinking to myself, right, you know, can we have some imaginary cool graphics, right? What would it be like if Jewel was like 3D, right? Wouldn't it be cool?
Right.
Yeah. Would it make people like outside of like say people that are fascinated with pixel art, right? There's also a niche of gamers, of NFT people, of Web 3.0 enthusiasts that they're interested in like different kind of perspectives to a certain project, right? So I was like thinking, right, you know what? Let's not stray too far from it. Let's do a semi-realistic version of what it could be, right? And I thought that, hey, you know what? We are all invested in this project, right? And we all want to do our part, and we all have our
Right.
unique ways of, marketing the projects that we ourselves are invested in emotionally or monetarily or whichever, right? As long as we are all in one goal. So on my part, I feel like you know what, I can do a bit of 3D stuff, a bit, and I like different perspectives, and at the same time contributing to the value of the entire project, right? And then from there, it just went, right?
Yeah, and I love what I hear you saying because and we were talking a bit about this yesterday, and I told you, it wouldn't, I'd be lying to myself if I didn't say it was for some of the same reasons you're doing things, right? I stream because of everything you said exactly right. In many respects, it's I'm trying to get out there and do my part to promote the project, to get the word out, and we've always said that what makes there's I think there's many pieces, but one of the pieces that makes this project unique is the community. So like, oh, let's highlight the community some more. And, there were streamers who were doing some of that. Um, but I really wanted to sort of take some of our community members, who aren't necessarily like in your face, like look at me, try and bring them out to the forefront and say, hey, you know what, you've got some pretty cool stuff, and lots of people like what you're doing. Let's talk about it. No, that's great. I love it. I love it. As far as 256 bit the person, so you're not just an artist per se, in the sense of you just create art as a hobby. You're also sort of an artist in your own right. You like to create music, write songs.
That is right. That's right. So before I got into this visual stuff, I was more into the music side of things. But before I continue, hi
Mm-hmm.
Driftwood, hi Colio, hi. Oh yes, thank you for the dragon art. I love that one.
Oh yeah, here one more for you if you didn't see this one. Mr.
Uh,
Stinjuro, he loves your fan art.
Yay! Thanks, Sanjay. All right, cool. Oh yes, so music, right? So
Yes.
basically, I started off a couple of years back. Got a few inspirations in there. I finished my bachelor's in business for marketing, and then basically I told my parents that, hey, here's what you want, and now this is what I want. Right, I want to try out. Right.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I followed my passion. Did music for 2 years, full fledged, and then yeah, it was quite fun. And then nowadays it's just more like part time. Yeah, on an occasional basis, I just go perform at some places. Not for the past 2 years because of COVID, but
Right.
this year's good. This year it's getting hot, right? Everyone's going out and
Yeah,
having fun.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, what
Looking
what 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 kind of music do you compose and write? Or
pretty mainstream, I would say, like pop stuff. It's mostly a guitar, Ed Sheeran, Bruno Mars stuff. Yeah.
nice, nice, nice. As far as other hobbies go, it almost sounds like we make it a meme because we're on Discord a lot, and we say, hey, we're gonna go outside and touch some grass here, but you enjoy your walks, right? Sort of get that outdoor fresh air, and not so much for the walks, but it's inspirational for you. What sort of gets the juices flowing in your head, on your walks? Where do you gather your inspiration from?
Right. So I kind of like looking out in the sea. I guess going to the seaside, looking at the sea, right? thinking, like when you look at the sea, right, you feel like, you're part of the universe in a certain sense, right? You feel like, okay, you think you are like huge, big, significant, and impactful, and then when you look at the sea itself, you realize that, hey, we are all but sand, right? We are all but um, you know small little pieces of things in the universe that do our best, right, to leave
Right.
a legacy, to leave an impression in the world, and to demonstrate value, to give value, right? And we all try to do our best, no matter how, no matter who we are, right? In what form, we try to bring value, right, to everyone as much as possible. With To me, personally, with as much respect and trust, and if possible, right? And I
Right.
mean, conflict is inevitable, but we try to keep it as constructive as possible, I'd say.
Yeah, so and I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Were you able to attend the conference there in Singapore that took place not too long ago? Was it Token 2049? Were you there?
Okay, right. So no, because I didn't know about the crypto Asia. I didn't know about token 2049. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, because I the trip, right? I was like, what the heck, right? So they are going to be here, and I'm going to be like, far away, right? But I'm pretty sure some other SG based or Malaysian based DFK community member actually managed to find them and talk to them. I'm not sure who, but the lucky few, I guess. Yeah, I was looking
Yeah,
forward to meeting them, like Pie Face, Balloon, and the rest. That I think they were here. I think there was 6 people,
they yeah, they were there
right? And
and
then the merch, right? The merch.
y- yeah, oh, yes, the merch. It's all about the merch. I need to get my hands in it more. Um um Clayton, stateside. Clayton as a project, not at least to me and some of the people I spoke to, not very well known. I keep hearing that in Asia, Clayton's maybe a bit more known, at least South Korea specifically. Had you heard of Clayton before DFK sort of jumped into into a partnership with them?
Okay, so before even was announced, I not heard of it before,
Yeah,
but it might be because I got into the scene a little later, and I
yeah.
remember Clayton was here for a while, like 1 2 years ago, right?
Okay,
Yeah. So, being inside the community, right? I joined the Discord group. I think DFK is a bit more active. No, I'm not,
right,
not just being biased or whatever. I was trying to like communicate with the community, but it seems
right,
like they are a bit controlling, I guess. At this point, right,
right, right. I see
handful
what you're
space,
saying.
right?
Yeah, and I've tried to do that some of that myself to try and get there and engage people.
Yeah.
I was wanting to see whether or not there'd be someone interested jumping on the show, sort of tell us more about Clayton just from a community perspective. But you're right, they're at least their Discord, the way it functions. My understanding, at least from what I saw, it's more of a support site, FAQ type of thing. It's not meme central
Oh,
like Discord. Um, for DFK, it's certainly a little bit different for sure. Um,
oh,
as yeah,
but there's one positive thing. It's that the community moderators are quite on the ball, so that's good. Yeah.
no, absolutely, absolutely. As far as your art, you can and in terms of dropping this on you here on the fly, I'm not sure. Would you be able to share your website? I think that you should have a capability to be able to share. Maybe walk us through your page and walk us through some of your art so we could see some of that.
For sure. Let's do this. Let me just share my screen. Um,
All right, so I see it here. Let me do show and stream. All
okay.
right, it's gonna come up. There you go.
Cool. All right. So, yep, as you can see right from the start, right, I really like the loadings, the backs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
made it a bit like matte, and like those painting you see in those museum but
Yeah.
it's swinging, so that kind of spoils the effect. So when you come in, it's a little 3D-ish. It could be a bit more. I could enhance it with what we call a normal map, but this one is a bit more like just surface painting kind of vibe. So yeah, right from the get go, something 3D-ish, not really fully mine, but I want to like showcase, right? Ultimately, is to promote traffic to this project, right? So that
Yeah.
all of us, are in this together, basically, right? So as with some feedback, I changed the start of the description of my site to make sure that people are not too confused because I know there's a lot of phishing websites out there. So right
Yeah.
from the start, yeah, right from the start, I'm gonna come clear of it, right? This is purely fan art, right? And then the links directly to the product itself, and of course a little name drop with my tutorial. Yeah. So yeah, so I arranged it in GIFs. So pretty much like that. This is what I started off with.
Okay.
Serendipity 3D over here. So I wanted to basically like put it in the forest. I found I think the bulk of the work was in crafting the jewel. It's like all the little things over there. I think I can show you on Blender itself. Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so this is the software I use, as you can see. I
wow.
did the inside. Yeah, it took me a while. Like this is the start, so it was a bit more, slightly more time consuming because I want to get like even the internal parts of it like fixed properly, right? So yeah, and then like there's a couple of views. This is the low res, and then this is the high res, right, version of it. So yeah, it takes some time to load, and yeah, but this is the
So,
start. Yeah.
so how long does it take you to make something like this? Let's start with that first image, the jewel one.
Okay,
I
this one.
how long does it take to make something like this?
Okay, so for this one, it took a while, but in the sense that usually what I do is I spend like 30 minutes to an hour a day doing small little parts of it, and then I will come back another day. Let's say if this takes a bit more time, right? I don't try to like force myself to complete it all at once because after trying out a few pieces of uh, art, sculptures, and models, I realized that you got to do what you can do for that period of time, and then you got to let it rest, right? Just like um,
Right, right.
steak, you got to let it rest, and then if you need to cook again, yeah, go ahead, right? Because uh, sometimes it's about being inspired, and sometimes it's about seeing things in different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different variables that comes into play. So for this one, it took about a week, right? So one day I spent
Okay.
30 to an hour focusing, hyper focus on that, right? Certain structures and whatnot. So after a week, I got the shape out to what I want, and then I worked on the material, had some helps, had some tutorials here and there. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to get started on Blender, right, I recommend going to YouTube and look at Blender Guru and start to do that. It's quite a good start for me. And then there's a few more guides that I can recommend too. And yeah, it's quite fun.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. If you don't mind, if you've got some guides for people, I'm happy to post them on, in the comment box. Feel free to tweet them out. Can you remind everyone of your Twitter handle?
Yes. So on Twitter, I am 256BA. Uh,
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Basically.
I love that jewel one. I must say that my favorite fan art of yours, it's between the crystal veil sort of image. It's I don't know, I love it. I love it. That or the mythic thief which
Oh,
is
this one.
yeah, yeah.
This, I,
Inspiration for that one. How did that one come about?
Okay, right. So this one, it came about after I did this jewel. I was like, I wanted to showcase right the original art, and I wanted to do like in real life, right? If you have like a mythic, legendary shiny card like this, what would you want to do, right? Would you want to frame it? And I mean, it was Blender, right? So I basically could add some enhancement, right? So instead, and just I like wood, right? So I like all kinds of wood. I feel like it enhances a lot of art pieces, right? So I had a small little frame built on it, and then after that, I put in like a glow, like a aura, like a light emission behind it. So it's a slightly hyper realistic-ish kind of thing. But when you look at it, it just ah, it just works, right? It took me a while, so because initially it was without the light glow, and I was like, something seems missing, right? And then with this, I guess you could say it's simplicity at its best, kind of thing. It's not too much, not too complicated, but I think it adds up, right?
It just it's so captivating. It really is. It grabs my attention. That's actually the first one that grabbed my attention. I'm not sure where I saw it first, but it was
Okay.
this image where I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I gotta reach out to 256-bit. I want to know more. um,
Yes.
what which one's your newest piece?
Okay, the newest one. Oh, okay. So basically, the past 2 weeks, since I was traveling, I didn't have much time to work on
Yeah,
anything because the tour, like I mentioned, was the itinerary was a bit too rushed. Right, it was like a boot camp basically.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
but after I came back, I worked on something really new. It's a commissioned piece. So yeah,
Ooh, is this a
basically.
sneak peek?
I think I can show it, but it's here. Wait, let me just check. Uh, it's on this track. Let me just find it. So he shared it on a public group, so I'm just gonna share it out there.
Okay.
So this is the latest work that I've done. Oh, 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 whoops. Okay, let me just play it from here.
Yeah,
Can you see it?
I do. Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Nice.
right, the hype from the duos, right? So I was like thinking, hey, he wanted me to do an animation, a commission of his Dread Knight. So I was like,
Right.
okay. So I did. I wanted to play on like the coming of PvP. So I was like thinking, what kind of skill can a Dread Knight have, right? So this is basically Japanese kanji, right? It stands for slash of terror.
Nice. Nice.
Basically, a spinning sword. His giant sword just spinning. Yeah, and then throwing it out. Bam, wham.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope it inspires like the Wisdom Studio team to ramp it up, right? Like get hype.
Oh, I hear you. I'm all about sort of getting it, step it up, right? Yeah, so yeah, DFK Dual Season 1 coming soon. I love this one. This one's great.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Oh.
as far as any other, I don't know if you'd be able to share any other things you're working on, that you've not released yet. You don't have teasers, and you don't have to show us something right now. But, is there any other fun stuff you're working on that you might release in the next coming months
Okay.
or
So
weeks?
in terms of a long-term perspective, I am trying to look at like having like a 3D interface thing where people can play around with the models. I hope. So that's the long
Mm,
run thing. So people can take this 3D objects and pose with it, and hopefully, right on this website itself. So that's a long run basis. And in the short run, just okay. I'm just gonna play this while we talk, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
I love it.
hey, thanks, man. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm working on another commissioned project. Uh, I think I'll share more about it, but
Yeah.
it's more like a trophy kind of thing. But I'm not
Okay.
going to go too much about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but once it's released, I think the other party will share more about it, and yeah,
Sweet.
it'll be cool. Yeah, that is one thing, and then I think community-wise, everyone has been very supportive. I think if you've seen Prime Time, his
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
profile pic, right? It was basically I collabed with him to work on his new art, his
Oh,
new
okay.
yeah. So I think you can see it here, right? Yeah, can't really see it, but yeah. So it was fun working with him on it. I can't really show it now.
Oh, yeah,
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 but that
yeah. Okay.
yeah, the DFK thing. It was quite fun doing it. Yeah. So that was one of the recent works that I done that because it's commission book, so I don't show it on the on this spec.
Yeah, no, I completely get it. So I have to ask you, 'cause there's a couple people in the chat box asking
Oh, okay.
themselves, um, commissioned work. How do we ask you to like if someone says, "Hey, I want to work with you. I want to have something done." How do they go about that?
Uh, you can just DM me on Discord, and then we can work something out there. It's very straightforward. Yeah, there's another guy who got me on Twitter too. So yeah, just directly message me, and yeah, it'll be quite
Yeah,
cool.
someone, yeah, yeah, 3D Team Goose logo would be crazy. Frozen Minds mentioning,
Mhm.
Captain Crystal, I think, mentioned he'd be interested in something. I am interested in something as well. It's super awesome. Um, and then for to sort of set expectations for people. How long? And I'm sure this gets worked out in your communications, but for someone who may be interested, how long does it take for you to sort of complete a project for them? So what's the expectation?
Okay, right. So currently, for now, right, I'm quite fortunate that they let me just do my thing.
Right.
So basically, yes. So I just asked for like a few specifics, like what you want. Like, is there some words that you want inside? Is there a feature? Like, for example, for the Dread Knight one, he wanted to feature his Dread Knight, right? So I make sure that the name was there. I make sure that it's solely the image of his Dread Knight. And like for example, for prime time, he wanted like the word DFK in it, and he wanted prime time, and I worked out the rest. So what
Right.
I'll do, yeah. So what I do is usually I will look into your social media. I'll see what kind of styles do you like. So some of those things I usually don't need to ask. I just see what you have already done, and what I can visually do with the 3D stuff, make it yeah, to add that to it, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what it does. That
Beautiful.
animation thing, right? Okay.
I'm reading some of these comments
Yeah.
too. Here, morning smash,
Morning.
welcome. Um, I'm impressed with your work. I love what you're doing. And then as far as and the payment piece, do you take that in Jewel, Crystal, USDC? I mean, sort of give people an idea of what to expect on that end.
Oh, okay. Oh, so like payment stuff, right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah, for commission work.
Okay, right. So what I do, I think right at the start for now, most of my work, most of the time, I leave my public address and I'm like, go ahead, tip what you think is you can afford, right? And that's it.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
yeah, I don't try to force anyone. Like the first book I have done, I'm not sure whether you heard of this YouTuber called the Brown Gent.
Yes, yes, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
big. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I got into his videos quite in the earlier months, and I'm still watching
Yeah.
now, right? And so I posted some of the gifs on his channel, and he commissioned me. That was the first non-DFK related work I had, right? So we did his introduction. Do you want to? Yeah. So you can go to his channel, YouTube channel, and
Yeah,
check.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll definitely check him out. But yeah. So tell me more.
Yeah, so we took a while to work for it, and he asked what's the commission for it. So at that time, right, a couple months back, right, eggs were worth quite a bit, right? So I just say, hey, how about a blue egg? And he's like, sure, and done, right, done. Fun. And then we just start to work on it, and just yeah, this went on there, right? Because in the long run, right, the egg is probably worth like hundreds, and
D-
previously it was worth hundreds, right?
oh yes. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
remember those days.
good times. And good times are gonna come again, right?
Oh,
After
absolutely.
yeah, after this couple of months, and we'll be back on track, right? We just grow and grow from there. And yes, I want to shout out to Captain Crystal, by the way, because he was when I was still blue. He was like, "You're gonna be green soon, right?" So he made that statement back then. And I was like,
Uh,
"Yeah, cool, cool." Yeah, uh, yeah. It took a
and he,
while.
hey, there's some people out there who aren't green who definitely should be green.
For
Um,
sure, right? Yeah.
and you were one of those. For sure. I don't remember you being blue. Um, So it's maybe one of those things where I probably didn't know of you at the time, but yeah, geez, if there was someone who was supposed to be green or who needed to be green, you were one of those for sure.
Thank
Um,
you. Appreciate
any final comments on your work here before we move to another segment?
it.
As far as your fan art or thing people some things people would should know regarding your page or and maybe I can start here, people who appreciate your work. You said your page is public and people can sort of make donations if they choose. Where could we find that link or
Okay.
that address? Where does that live?
It's actually on. Oh, should I share my website again?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can put it back up and I'll put it on the screen.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So it's basically over here.
Let me pull it up. Here we go.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. And
Uh,
that's on the homepage. And that again, it looks like it's DeFiKingdomsFanArt.com. I'll put it here in the chat box as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Uh,
DeFi.
and of course, I just launched a new T-shirt. Uh,
You have a merch store. I didn't know
just
you
just
had a
one.
merch store.
Yeah,
Okay.
just one. So basically, it's when you have an idea, breathe life into it, right? So if you've seen one of the art pieces, there was line art. This one
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So the front looks like this, right? So when you have an idea, and then the back goes into this, breathe life into it, kind of like
I love it. Love it. Love it.
Right, right. Yeah. So that's one of the ways that you can support if you like what you see and no please no obligations no whatever. It's just
No, of course.
and,
Of course.
yeah, we all money we all make money. It's hard to make a living. Totally understand and yeah. The
No,
most
of course.
yeah. I'm just gonna leave
Yeah, no,
this.
yeah, no, this specifically has been great. I think I've seen shout outs from some of the DFK uh team as well, sort of shouting you out publicly. So that's always nice to see for sure. We'll go ahead and sort of move on to another segment here in a sec.
Okay.
And then we'll go into closing remarks. So let me queue up a video
Okay.
and then we'll take it from there. Beautiful. So, Mr. 256-bit, as far as what we heard, I think it was this last AMA. And I can't remember who exactly was saying this. It may have been Sun Bear. Well, I'll ask you this first. Question one, as far as the co-marketing stuff, have you looked into that?
Co-marketing. Oh, as in like
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, co-marketing on DFK, on the DFK site.
Honestly, I've hung around the Kingdom Builders site, right? The one where you
Right.
share
Yep.
proposal.
Yep.
Yeah. So far, I've been just like supporting projects, right? I've seen like the Dfk, all this kind of alarms and whatnot. See like DFK Inc. Seen like Kingdom Watch. I've seen all this really cool
Right.
like smart contract, helpful projects. And yeah, I've been thinking, right? So at the end of the day, this is community driven, and I wanted to make it like everyone can benefit, right? Because I've seen recently they started a fan art channel, and I was
Yes,
thinking,
I saw that. Yep.
yeah, I was thinking everyone could, put their art pieces somewhere, and then have their tip jars there, and you know what, they can sustain themselves. They can do some other things. They don't have to. They can focus on DFK itself, right? Because art is subjective, right? So there'll be people that be interested in your kind of drawings, your kind of art. I've seen like this user called FOMO has been posting some drawings. Maybe that's AI. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but still cool, right? Regardless. And before I continue, hi Storm Thesaurus. Oh, Yeah, just looking at the chat.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God, yeah. I'm pleased to have you all here. I know short notice on the notification to let you guys all know to come watch us this morning. So I'm really glad you have viewers this morning. Yeah, no, but you really need to. I think you really need to get yourself on that Kingdom Builder site and sort of toss your name in the hat into a co-marketing. And this goes for all content creators, all the artists. And I mentioned that because my understanding is that they're creating um sort of yes, you've got the ADFKs, you've got the Fight Club, and DFK, all these other different pages, but then I guess they want to make a dedicated sort of NPC for people like you and I, so that people who are interested in seeing some of these creators, you could go in and sort of explore, right, if you will. Um, it's sort of a trusted way to sort of get yourself out there. Um, I would encourage it of you. I think many of us would be happy to see you there, including myself. So something to think about.
Thank you. That's really nice. I really appreciate it. Right, honestly.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. As far as just any, I know you're bullish on the project. If you can give us one or two things specifically about what you've heard in the last couple of weeks. There's so much has happened. Um, what would you say? Those things are that sort of jump to the top of your head and say, hey, you know what? This reassures and confirms my passion for DFK.
okay, right. Okay, so before I go into that, yes, I will take 1 million bloaters and 2 million is fine too. Yeah. Okay, I love bloaters. In fact, I was trying to work on something that's related to bloaters, but maybe it's clear me for now. Yeah. Oh, hey, TuneFat. Yeah. So TuneFat has also been like shouting out my pieces and my
Oh
briefs.
my
Thank
God!
you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're very much loved.
Appreciate it. Right. I think it's a good thing. Right. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So within talking about the things that happened for the past few weeks, right? Um, I think for a while I've been kind of like already like knowing that hey, Harmony, something's going on there, and I was in that Discord group too. I wanted to understand, right? There's all this like DFK detective, all these handlers like the way they behave is like what's happening, right? I don't want to say too much, right? I don't go into politics, but
Right.
from the way I see things, I knew there was a need for change, so I was hoping they make a decision much faster. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting Clayton, by the way. I was thinking Polygon or
Oh, I
Binance.
was too. I was on the Polygon bandwagon.
Yeah.
That or Phantom, 'cause I know they've talked about those two projects in the past. And and the way they were talking about things, I was convinced they would go in that direction. But I totally understand why they made the decision they've made. Um, I like you. I think Clinton sort of I didn't know of him, but I think that's a good thing because what it means to me is you're now potentially attracting a whole different subset, whole different community of people into DFK. Wisdom Labs, what do you think of that? How do you how how excited are you for that partnership?
Okay, right. So I was quite cool, right? But I also kind of like sense that because I do run a business myself, and I was like, whoa, how do you guys do all this, right? In this amount of time, every week you have AMAs. Holy cow! And there's updates every week. Dude,
Right.
that's not normal, right? So they are rushing, right? They're doing it. They're accelerated. No, it's not really known. But when you do a business, right, it's really hard to get like proper updates out on a regular basis like this. So I was because I kind of like try to learn solidity myself and stuff. I'm not really successful at it, but I know how tough it is, right? To make sure that
Yeah.
there's no vulnerabilities and whatsoever. And before I go too much, yes, Frozen and Driftwood pointed out the new NPC artist. I was quite excited, right? So I went to click on it, but there was nothing yet of now. Looking forward to the yeah, fan art, right? It's really cool. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, back to the topic. So yeah, just so all this leadership, all these quick movements, all these quick announcements, it's just impressive, right? Not many projects out there like that. Not many leadership people spare. They are busy people, right? We totally understand, and they really want. I feel personally, I feel that they want to communicate more, like they want to like, hang out with us more. But they know in their heart that putting out their best efforts, making sure that consistent updates, right, is a way of like respecting the community, respecting the family, growing together, scaling together. So props to them, and like they are doing amazing, by the way. Yeah.
They 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 are, and I'll follow that up with I'm convinced they don't sleep. And then I
Yep,
talked to
yep.
Golan, and I don't think he sleeps. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're just around, and like you're saying, I can't imagine the amount of work and hours they put into this. This is it it's it it it's extraordinary. Are they perfect? By no means. They're not perfect, but find someone who is perfect. I don't think that person exists.
No,
Um,
they person.
what I do enjoy about the team is that they try and learn and sort of become better at what they're doing. One of the more recent examples, I saw a lot of us, including myself, um, talking a lot about the dynamic gas fees, Gwei
Uh,
being so high, and what are they gonna do? And I don't know what I don't know, but I was very much convinced, and I would tell people in Discord, I was like, I don't like it either, but I know they're reading these comments. I know they're not responding right now.
mhm.
I know they'll work on something, and sure enough, within a week or two, I think week, if not days, actually, they come out with a fix, right? And now Guay's hovering around 2, which is substantially different. Um, but it's one of those things where I think they do listen. Um, can they make all the changes we're wanting all at the same time? Some things are easier than others. Um, but I think that's for me, that's something valuable and sort of unique about this project, is that they do listen to their community, um, and they do constantly try and improve upon themselves. Again, not perfect, but they work at it. And I look forward to seeing that, more and more of that for sure. Um, Serendale 2.0, what's exciting about that specifically for you?
Um, okay, right. So I guess I'm looking forward to. I think okay for me, right. The first thing is probably the gardens, right? So they have insane APR, APYs over the gardens,
Right,
like any new
right,
extensions, right? So
right.
I guess the first thing I want to share is like, hey, get some, all right? Prepare some clay, right? Personally, I have some clay waiting. So yeah, first thing, right? Got to have some there. Enjoy some high APRs, and of course, I think I'm looking forward to how they're gonna revamp it, right? They say that there's gonna some enhancement to the UI. Um, I'm looking forward to it. That'll be quite cool to see what they have in mind. And of course, the laws. I hope the statue of the horse rider and the market will still stay there. Some things should still be there, kind of thing. And yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure. And and I see the it looks like Guay's back up to 3.4. I'm sure there's still some dynamic moves there, but it's definitely not 15, 16. I think I saw it as high as, like, 17 maybe. As far as the APRs, I was I like you. I was very much excited about that. Talking to some of the people. I think in one of my a couple of streams ago, that they were maybe sharing that they may not. It sounds like it may be a bit of a different structure. Where it's not as crazy lucrative as it's been in the past. I think what I understood is they're planning on smaller APRs for a longer period of time, type of
okay,
situation. I could be wrong. Point is that it beats the interest rates at my local bank, so
for sure.
um so much better. Um um for me, I'm actually pretty excited about the Siegeal Estual situation with being able to vest your jewel and getting sort of equivalent to a garden, be able to stake your jewel and collect some of those fees or some of your, those rewards on a continuous basis.
Yep.
Um, so no, for sure, lots of exciting things. We'll see what ends up happening. But like you're saying, things are moving and changing, and if you blink your eyes in crypto, let alone DFK, you've missed a lot. So,
Exactly right. Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm like in this group with like signals, right? So each day I wake up, like I miss that 1 hour timing, right? It's gone, right? It's gone. That
yeah.
spike just goes up and it's like, oh, I'm out. Right? So totally understand.
Yeah, I think when they rolled out those new the new liquidity pools in Crystalville, I was out and about, and I saw, the post, and I saw
Oh,
those APRs. It's
yeah.
like I am nowhere near my computer, and I don't have MetaMask on my phone. I'm missing out. By the time I got home, it was too late, certainly. But
It's
it's one of those things where you blink and it's like things change for you.
exactly. You know what I did this time around? I broke my garden like prematurely, right? And then I just like, have no gardens for like 2 days, just holding that LP. I think it was clay crystal or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just hold it for 2 days with no emissions, whatever. And then when it started, I was like, "Rah, let's go in."
Oh, no way. See, that's smart too. Okay. Okay. Um, all right. I wanna sort of close this off here. Any closing remarks from you? I again, I like to ask all my guests any words of advice for anyone who's new to DFK,
Okay.
or anyone who's been in DFK for a while. What can you share with people?
Okay, right. So if I were to restart, right, from nothing, right, just fiat currency, going to this la la land, right, what I would do is I probably like look into this analytics website. There is this DFK Analytics by Wing Hu, and then there's dfkking.co, and then I think there's also great information by expert. There's also there's a lot of great like informative website.
Mm-hmm.
The AMAs written up by Sammy Punch, tons of very useful information. I'll read through everything. I'll read through the strategy, and what I'll do is when I buy heroes, right, I'll probably purchase those that with intent, with a purpose, right. So either Gen 1 1010s or 5 advanced classes, right, or the trades, right, should make sense. Um, Nowadays I don't try to play the profession class thing. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's more, yeah, now it's more like flipping potential, rushing to level 10 so that when the clay community comes in, right, they will hopefully they will cause a surge. They will just pay to win, right? I hope, right? So a massive demand for level 10s and above. Those that want to go like duels and whatnot, just want to play, right? So and I'm looking forward to the dark summoning, right?
Yes, dark
Uh,
summoning for sure. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with everything you've just said. And I guess I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're so right. I've not, I've thought about it, but I've not put the words to it. Try and have assets that other people would want, right? So those heroes that other people might want to buy from you, buy them up, develop them to a point, and in the future, they'll be worth more. Don't do what I did, and pick up the same, so when I first started, I was like, DFK FOMO. I didn't buy this hero. This hero looks good. It was a really bad like gardening pirate. It
oh,
was with like the stat boosts were like misaligned. It was a totally bad hero. I've learned since then. It sounds like you've learned too.
yes, yes,
um,
yes.
and then any thoughts or words for your fans out there? Anything you'd like to share with them before we leave?
I think if you guys want to see more stuff, right? Follow me on Twitter and also follow Sajin on his YouTube channel for even more community, driven perspectives, um, drives, right? So there are a lot of great things coming up, a lot of personalities to showcase, to talk about more about DFK and for me, wise, just Twitter and Discord, right? for now, and also my website. Right, go
Yes.
take a look at it. Right,
Perfect. And remind us again, 256-bit A is your Twitter handle, and your website again is what is it again?
DeFi KingdomsFanArt.com.
Perfect. Beautiful. Well, thank you very much, 256-bit. Thank
Thanks
you all
for
for
listening.
tuning in. We'll catch you at the next one. 256-bit, thank you for your time. Much appreciated.
Likewise. Right, take care and see you guys, everyone.